What's up, you guys? For my topic for becoming a social activist assignment, I decided to choose the influence of rap music in the community and how it's been influential towards topics that have been occurring, well, recently or in the past few years here in the United States. But more in particular, I like to talk about, he's one of my favorite artists of all time, and his name's Kendrick Lamar, and I want to talk about his album that he brought out in 2014 called To Pimp a Butterfly, and how it's been very influential, and you can relate to with what's happening today with like the Black Lives Matter, um, like protests and all the police brutality. That album was created in 2014, and he talks about exactly that and all the injustice that happens in our society. And it's just crazy to me that all that is still relatable today. And I wanted to analyze like a couple of his lyrics from a couple of songs. It was hard to choose one song because the whole album represents that topic. So I just got a few lyric quotes from like a couple different songs that just talks about it in general. So this first one, it comes from a song called "The Black of the Berry," and when that song released, it was really, it was it was raw. It was deep, talking about like the stereotypical views of black people and how, or like what they're called, how they're treated, and all that. So I'm gonna read the quote, and I'm just gonna not say the bad words, obviously, because he's he does say some vulgar words. So this is from The Black of the Berry, and it was in the song. It's a pretty long quote. It says, "I'm African American. I'm African. I'm black as the moon, heritage of a small village. Part of my residence came from the bottom of mankind. My hair is nappy. My is big. My nose is round and wide. You hate me, don't you? You hate my people. You plan to terminate my culture. You're evil. I want you to recognize that I'm a proud monkey. You vandalize my perception but can't take style from me." So this is talking about like what what other people, or like what other people besides black people see them as. So it's talking about how their hair is nappy, their nose is round and wide, people calling them monkeys and all this. And like how he says it vandalizes his perception of how they look, how they feel. And I mean, everyone has feelings, and imagine, like, I can't say that I can relate to this because first of all, I'm not black, or I don't know, no one in my family is. But it's hard to relate to this because just imagine what they go through. This is on a daily basis. This has been happening for years and years and years and years, and it's just crazy because it's still happening today. Like, people still think of black people like this. So yeah. And then there was another one where he talks about, where he gets political. He says, "From Compton to Congress, set tripping all around. Ain't nothing new but a flu of demo crips and re-blood lickings. Red state versus a blue state. Which one you governing? They give us guns and drugs, call us thugs, make it their promise to F with you." So this is like in the political aspect view. Yeah, he's describing it as they give these hoods and these communities of black people drugs, guns, and then they blame it on them. And there's been a lot of stories of people being like communities being planted with guns and drugs, and then it's just a way for black people to get incarcerated and prosecuted. It's crazy to think of. And talking about this, and like the how this affects like social activism, this album really talks about how, as a black community as a whole, should stand up against all this injustice. But there's more songs on there that talk about police brutality, a bunch of stuff like that. And yeah, I feel like this album does give a cultural shift and change, and it really should be talked about more. This album was given album of the decade of the past decade, and you can see why. It's just there's a lot of this pop culture is crazy because there's a lot of things that get set into like a trend, but this in particular is should get more, how should I say it, more insight from other people, because something like this should get more trend than a fashion icon or something like that, because this is talking about real world problems right here, and it really opens the eyes of not just like black people, because they suffer through that every day, but even like through me. Like like I said, I don't know, I'm not black, or I don't have family that is, and it opens my eyes, and it makes me wants to shift for change, because yeah, this inequality stuff is crazy, and in a political aspect too, like it's just so unjust towards them. um yeah.